Hi, and welcome back, everyone. Today, I am going to take this sketch that I found on Page Maps, which I'll link below. They have a lot of free sketches every month. I printed this one out, and I want to scrapbook this adorable picture of my cat. He has huge paws, so I thought Paws would be a great title. And I had this printed on Shutterfly with a black background around it because I'm not always great at matting my photos, so this is one way you can do that. So I'm going to alter this sketch. I only have one photo. This calls for a 5.5 by 4 inch photo, but my photo is 4 by 6. And I don't have a 3 by 3. I also love this look with the perforated notebook paper, but I don't have that. So I'm just going to alter this and see what I can do. I have some cat scrapbook paper in this envelope. And I've kept this collection by Echo Park all together. And I keep my scraps in here too. So I want to look through this first so I can see what would be good for this layout. I know that I'm going to start with a white page, but I am going to see what I can use. So I have this photo and I'm going to kind of look. I do like the paws because, again, I said I wanted to do this scrapbook title that says paws, and even this has the paws in it for the layout. Now you don't have to match the paper, but that's one option that I have here. I have some scraps. I love to keep my scraps all together because we may be able to use it on the layout. I do like that because it pops him off the page. I don't want to use that as my background. I do like that. That's super cute, but I think it might contrast with this blue blanket. This is cute. It gives me cats and it gives me paws, but I think it takes away from the picture as the background. I like that. That's pretty too. And I don't want stripes. I do like the diamonds. I don't want the solid colors, and I also like, honestly, I like the plaid. I think I'm going to do the plaid. So let me get my layout again. So I have this layout, and I could do the plaid as my background. So it is a square cut, and then I need a border at the bottom, and I also need a straight piece here. And I do think a solid piece is going to be good because it's going to break up the patterned papers. So I will stick with that layout. If I use this, that's not a solid. Oh, but I do have this cardstock in here to match that. Let's see how he looks on that. I don't like it. So I may go back to these paws and look at this. I'm just not sure what color. So let me pull some colors from my stash to see what would go good with this picture. Now, I have pulled out tangerine and a mustard. So I want to see what looks best. I think he pops out on both the mustard and the tangerine, but I really like well, it's not mustard, it's called Hello Honey, but I really like this. I think it's a good complement to the color of this, so I'm going to use this in the background for the solid stripe. And I've lost my sketch. Here it is. Alright, so for this solid here, I'm going to use this paper. So this is 8.5 by 11. So when I cut my square for my paper, I want to make sure this goes above that. So if this is 11.5, I think I could get away with a 1/2 inch or an inch. Why don't I do 10.5 by 10.5 for my paper? Now, I could also go back to this color because it pops. It has that mustard. But I'm just going to lean towards this paws because maybe I'm drawn to it because the paper has the paws on it. But again, my title is Paws because of his big paws, and he loves to knead. So I think that's what I'm going to do. So let's pull this, and we just need this bottom piece here, which I think I am actually maybe going to use the sticker sheet for. Now let's pull these other items away. We may come back to what's in this paper pack, and we'll get started. So I'm going to cut this down. It has that strip at the bottom, so again you line it up at 12 inches and cut your strip. And then I'm going to do 10.5 by 10.5. So pull this at 10.5, but save this piece because we could use it. And then we'll go to 10.5 again. And that will give us our square on the back of that page. Let's get out our white page here. And we are going to put this in the center. So that's kind of how our page looks. So this is, I'm going to put this on my mat so I can kind of get it lined up here. Alright, so there is my centerpiece. And what I decided to do is I pulled some other paper to look at instead of the sticker to do the bottom piece here. So let's see. I am going to cut the strip here, and while this doesn't have any measurements, I am going to kind of cut this as maybe 3 inches. Let's line that up in our cutter and just look at it. Let me push this arm here. 3 inches. That's a pretty good solid piece for there. So I'm going to line this up and cut it at 3 inches. But really we're looking here to here. I think I'm going to do 4 inches. Yes, I like that much better. If I don't, I can cut it down. Alright. So now I have my centerpiece that can go over the whole layout, just like they have it. But now I do not have the journaling box for this. I think I'm going to make the 3x3 my journaling box, and I'm going to use a piece of cardstock for this out of my stash. And I really like this faux stitching. I have never stitched on a scrapbook layout, but before I get to that, let's see what could go across here before I choose the pattern paper for here. So what's great about this strip is I can kind of see what it looks like, and I can put his picture here, which will kind of be like that, and we could use this, but I think I want more of something solid. I like this one here. It says soft kitty, warm kitty, little ball of fur. And it's perfect because he looks like he's soft and happy. So I will cut this out of the sheet so I can use that along the bottom. So I have altered the sketch some more. I did cut out the soft kitty strip, but it only goes part the way across the sketch, and I'm having mine go the full length of the sketch. Next, I cut out some pattern paper, and of course I didn't know exactly the size, but I thought it would make a good place to put the embellishments. I decided not to cut out a title for this. I decided to use one of the cut-aparts, and this cut-apart is a lot larger than what the sketch calls for. But you can do that, and it's a good way to have a title. I don't like how the words compete with this, the words on the strip, and then the back of the strip blends in too much with the Hello Honey paper that I have chosen. So I think I'm going to adjust some stuff around, maybe put the cut apart at the top and the pattern paper at the bottom. I did have to mat this cut apart because if you see, you put it straight down on the paper, it just blends in too much, and this helped make it pop. So I did end up using that tangerine paper. Now I think I'll be putting my embellishments down there, but I still don't like all the words on the page. I think it's just too much. The strip gets lost because of the words, and I will save that strip to use with something else because I just don't think there's enough space broken apart to use all these words. I am going to look through my stash to find what else I could use as a strip. When I do find colored paper that goes with the paper in my stash, I like to go ahead and keep it with the rest of my paper. So we'll just sit back and kind of look and see, based on the strips, what I can use from this stash. Alright, so I'm back with these cut out. Now, if I had put this down, of course, I would have cut off this end bottom, but I just don't like all those stripes with that pattern. I mean, it's a personal preference. I love the words. That may not be too much. Let me know in the comment what you think. But I also like these. I think this is cute. It kind of adds a little difference. And then I was looking at the cats, and I just think it's too big. So I think I'm going to go with the cans of food for the embellishment on the bottom. And I still like it going all the way across, unlike this sketch. Now, another thing is I like the faux stitching on a sketch. Well, it's not faux stitching, it's probably real stitching, but that's not my forte. So I could do faux stitching, which is very easy. I can get a pin out And we'll just use a scrap sheet of paper first. Let's see if I can find one. Always normally have scraps. Here's a piece of scrap paper. And we could just do the faux stitching like this along the bottom. And the reason I like to start out with this is because I want to see how thick the line's going to be. So here is another one, and the lines might be thinner. Oh, I like the thinner lines. So what I'm going to do is add a little faux stitching just like this. It just won't go all the way across. Instead, it will just be to the border of this. And I'm going to do it down here. And it may not be completely straight, but if I were to stitch this, or I doubt it would be straight. Let's say the sewing machine and the needle are not my friend. So I like that, and I'm going to see if I really want to do 2 lines, or I might go ahead and just do the 2 lines. But I think that I'll kind of indent these stitches so they're offset, just to give it a little bit of contrast. And this is not perfect, but I will do the same thing on the top here. So I'll just go across and do the stitching, because I think it kind of gives it an interesting look. And we used to do faux stitching back in the day, that's what they call this, on cards. And then they came out with a lot of dies. And if you didn't want to do this, you could put a die into your die machine, and you could just just emboss the stitching into the paper if you wanted to do that. Or, you know, if you're good with the needle, then you could also do that. What I like is I don't have to mat that picture. Now, this is kind of plain looking, and I thought that I would dress it up with some stickers. I don't want to use any more words, but I wanted to use my stickers. And the only thing I could see doing is possibly using this cat here on the layout, and maybe the fish, and this one heart. That would give me 3 things. So this way my paper's going to shine and my picture's going to shine, but I don't have a lot of embellishments, but I like 3. And I was able to alter that sketch. I put the title up here. I decided to do this across, and I'll just need to go back and adhere everything down. I decided to use their faux stitching. So I think this is a great way just to alter a sketch, and I really wanted this to be a 1-page layout. I hope you find this helpful in determining how to look at a sketch and make it your own. Have a great day, and thank you for stopping by. I hope that you'll consider subscribing and give this a thumbs up if you liked it. Bye.